All right, conclusions, analysis. What the hell? So, these guys are very lazy. They like head faking. They will use habitual uh, tackle and haulers. Um, One party will use a bumper and bump, giving me scads of time to set up and get prepared. Um, on the other hand, the other person, the Kujin, he uses a caracal to point, and then there's a bunch of tackle that come in and bump quickly. Well, they don't tackle it; they just small bumpers just to glob onto the target in order to get the warp in for the catalyst, right? Because in the previous case, the bumper is the warp in. So, but it's this, the Kujin way is you have way less reaction time. But I'm thinking, I'll never get good enough. Like, I'm getting good. I've got 4 targets in this one, 2 on this one, 2 on this one, I think 1 on that one. But I'll never have enough time, ever, even with the first instance or either instance, to get Seneschal targeting anybody. So why don't I just get Kaldari jammers to take care of the Kujin pointer, and just have that as backup for that. Yeah, I mean, that would be the best bet. Or I could go multi-spec, but I don't know if multi-spec is gonna give enough. What's the difference between that and a multi-spec, right? Type. Multi-spectrum, so multi-spectrum Mark II? Let's try that. Okay, what do we got here? We got 6 versus 9. Oh, I'll take it. What's the range, though? Shitty range, right? Effectiveness fall of 29, optimum range. So, basically, I'd have half that, whereas this one, I'd have decent optimal range. So yeah, we're talking about, but if I target 1, I'd be able to do it. And of course, if I just did the gravimetric, of course, yeah, I could do it that way. Yeah, and if they use another ship, I'll just go multi-spectrum and whoop-de-doo, right? I did actually go multi-spectrum on Seneschal and see if it works. But yeah, I mean, by the time I'm able to, okay, here comes the caracal, get onto Seneschal, target the caracal, or like at least select the caracal first, target the caracal, activate all those ECM modules as I'm targeting, and hopefully the target will, I don't know, by that time the frigates and destroyers are on top of the target, bumping it and getting warp ins. So I don't think that'll do any good. But it's worth a shot, right? I don't think it'll work at all, even if I'm successful perfectly. The target's pointed. He'll have to speed up again to get into warp, and yeah, the chances of it being bumped are just phenomenal. So yeah, but it's worth a shot. I mean, this character is never going to be able to target anything, regardless, in the time span, no matter how good I get. Um, if I do get really good at it, I doubt it. But yeah, gravimetric scooped. All right, look at that. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I'm getting opportunities for live fire exercises, just to learn the button mashing, getting good at the button mashing, and then being able to translate that into a more refined targeting selection instead of randomly clicking things and hoping for the best. And it's interesting because they're all on at once and they'll all log off at once, but yet they kind of, it seems like they're rotating their time zones in order to throw people off when they're going to be active in Uedama. But it's so weird because they're going after stupid targets, like people who either too lazy or complacent or just ignorant. Why wouldn't you stick on the peak times and just operate at peak times and just, why would you? They love to head fake. They're addicted to head faking. They'll beat that dead horse into paste. So, yeah, that's they're legends in their own minds. So it's like, okay, well, you don't operate during peak times. Go you, right? See what else. They're obviously multi-boxing. I haven't started to look close to see if I can spot any input broadcasting, obvious signs of input broadcasting. Yeah, the bumper's weird. It's like it's the same person, and Bumpy Boy and Freighter Boy, and it's just, and it seemed as though once that person logged off for the night, that they were just gonna cruise for chicks and then log off themselves. But Kujin had a pointer, which stands to reason. I thought it was just crazy that they didn't have a backup option for a tackle. But yeah, sure enough, Caracal came out, pointed something. He just warped to the gate and then pointed the target at as it uncloaked and started to warp. And then I'm assuming the tackle got on top of it in order to, so that the bumping small ships got on top of it for the warp-in of the catalysts. And that happened really quick compared to previously while I was watching. They'd bump it like quite a ways off gate, just toying with their food, and then they'd all warp to the nearby fort, and then they'd warp on top of the target and do it that way. And that took longer than this current way, which one would expect they would do it the non-bumpy way, that somebody would point and then they get people on top of the target and then you'd warp in. But yeah, I mean, the bumpy way is very sedate compared. But yeah, I mean, the more I observe, the more I'll learn, the more I'll get chances to practice, and the more I'll refine my techniques, knowing the limitations. Right? What are my limitations?
Warp drive active.
To be able to go, okay, I can manage, say, 3 Griffins conservatively. And of course, if I do that, if I realize I can't, in that space of time, I literally can't do more than three griffins realistically, then I'll go, oh, okay, I'll task my other two to different, just in case, I'll have one as Kaldari Jammer for the caracal, and then maybe if I just simply can't get experienced enough to use that fourth griffin, then I'll go, oh, I'll just dedicate it to, say, multi-spectrum maybe, just in case the other two, they use an Amara, or they use a, and if I'm really good at getting 4 griffins to target up 4 targets each, then I'll dedicate Seneschal to the multi-spec, right? This makes sense, right? 4, and I'll buy the multi-spec 2. T-spec, multi-spectrum ECM scoped, right? There we go. 4 of those. Alright, that's done. Simple enough. Alright. Back the way I came. Yawn. La la. Yeah, it's like, known limitations. Then I can tailor it. Like, I'm thinking maybe I'll have a, well, I can't have a Kyries, because if you got a Kyries, they'll get all excited and try to gank it. And it wouldn't really work. The Kyries, regardless, wouldn't work in this situation, because if they send fast tackle to get a warp in, it'll be a neutral and not criminal, and I won't be able to shoot it, and so the Kyries would be useless. And having a Sentinel along would be useless as well, for the same reason. I wouldn't be able to target. There's no war targets to spot and disrupt, right? So it's definitely either going to be, I'm hoping I can get 4 up to speed, and then this one will be Kaldari for the caracal, but they could switch it up and use another ship. But honestly, by the time it lights up criminal, he's already pointed the target and slowed it down and halted it from jumping, and the tackle are going to be on top of it. So I don't think they're going to bother switching ships. They're perfectly happy with what they have. That's what I've sensed, like their DST goes flashy instead of using a Corvette to swap into the fleet hangar, because their freighter goes flashy. So if their freighter goes flashy, why bother with the middleman with the DST? It goes flashy too, whoop-de-doo. That kind of thinking. It's all very industrialized.
Warp drive active.
Loop. So yeah, just fine-tuning what I have. I mean, the fit moved from, I had 2 CCCs, capacitor control circuits, had 2 of those here to be cap stable, and I had propulsion low slot, but I switched it out because I realized, wait, I don't need to be cap stable at all. So then I went in with a propulsion mod up a rig, and then I had an extra. I've got double the ECM projector rig, and then I can put in a double signal distortion amplifier. So yeah, it's only got a minute and a half, but you saw I had seconds to use your modules. So yeah, it all works out fine. Just button mashing really.
Warp drive active.
Some of the times when I was targeting up, I was not pressing F5 to F8. I was pressing like F2 or F3 or F4 by accident, and just getting the button mashing down. And then while I'm getting good at that, I can get better at the overview selection for targets, more smooth, instead of this panicky trying to target anything I can randomly. So yeah, I'll get there. And that'll help me in the future for other stuff too. Anyways, I gotta go to work. See you later. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.